other than that, just tonight has really been an eye opener, and they don't hear us on Facebook, but they can hear us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know what? Tonight has really, truly, honestly, just been an eye opener as to,
Respect.
for real. Love yourself.
Yes,
Thank
God.
you. Love yourself enough to know that you're worthy. And if you see some creep trying to come up on you and trying to talk to you, listen, and you young, man, listen, don't fall for the okie doke. Don't
old
fall
people
for
are
the
tired.
don't fall for the okie doke, because the only thing that somebody want to do is just get in your pants and get in your head, because it's just like when somebody trying to talk to you and they trying to lure you and man, listen, don't.
You know what?
And we
should
have to
add
pour
that
into
too.
these young girls. 'Cause
You
these
got, but not
girls
just the
don't.
young girls too. I think
It's
you
these
got to pour
women
into
too,
these
yeah.
young men.
Well, of
Because
course,
you got
women
these
too.
older women that's manipulating and being cougars
Oh,
out
yeah,
there
I
and
know-
robbing
I
them
know
of their
women that
whatever.
were
and sleeping with them and
Yeah,
going.
I'm seeing so
boys.
many. I mean, I
That's
knew of
disgusting.
one teacher at Irvington High that was sleeping with one of my brother's friends.
For real?
I know her name. I know, and then what's so funny? Years later, I saw her and she married somebody like 18 that just graduated high school. So I was like, oh, I wonder if she kept it up, right?
But
Now, I
think
never-
about this: when you didn't know that, you didn't report her,
well, because my brother's friend was happy about it.
but you still
And
didn't
I
report
didn't
her.
know, no.
Yeah, they was-
and I
they
was
was-
a
they was
kid.
happy,
My brother
yeah.
was only 2 years older
that's
than
a
me. I
come
was
up
still a
for a boy.
child.
Oh, okay. I thought. Well, listen. I'm just saying.
I was
You
a
was an advocate
child.
over there. You
Jesus.
let her go do it.
But what I say all that to say is I didn't. Almost every time I turn around now, you hearing about a new teacher
Yeah.
that's sleeping with
26
a 13
with a
or
13-year-old.
14-year-old.
Listen, I
so
wish.
it's becoming so common
doing?
practice.
That
it's
teacher is-
becoming
Man,
sad.
listen.
I'm telling you that when I was student
wouldn't be
teaching, I
able
was
to
student
talk
teaching at
again.
Irvington High, and because I wanted to work in the high school, I don't
Never.
like
Ever.
teaching little kids because it's just too much. He touched me. He took my pencil. Oh, calm down and write it down. So I don't want to deal with little kids. But I wanted to teach at the high school, but they wouldn't let me. They said because I looked too young, whatever. So this is when I was in the world. I was student teaching at Irvington High. So I went to a club on the weekend, whatever, and I'm in there with my girls, whatever. And this dude comes up and say, "How you doing?" He said, "Hey, Miss Hayes." Now, who was calling me Miss Hayes in the club? It was one of my students. And I'm like, "How are you in here?" I said, "You're a junior." He was like, "Oh, I stayed back like 3 times. I'm 18." I was like, "First of all, we have an issue right here, okay? Because we're gonna need you to get out of high school. Number two, don't hey Miss Hayes me, because he walked over here and said, 'Hey Miss Hayes, don't even look at me like that.'" And then and back then, I'm in the club, I'm dancing, my breast is out. I'm like, I got to go home. I can't be up here. And then I got a student teach next week, and he watching me in the club. He's like, "Hey Miss Hayes, you better back up."
I know that's right. You better go on and get
Talking about I stayed back 3 times. I'm 18. Boy, do you know what grade you are in? Stop playing and stop going to the club and study so you can get out of school.
Right, so you can get
Yeah,
your
but
butt.
But it
it's-
happens.
I'm just saying that it's not just R. Kelly.
Yeah,
You-
yeah,
you
it's
get what
not.
I'm
Hey,
saying?
Taylor.
It's not.
It's-
Kiki said something about right there. Too.
Yeah,
What?
it's not just
The
R.
brother
Kelly.
being victimized.
Yeah, it's women too. So it's and you hear about
Jesus.
daycare centers, you hear about older family members, you hear about a lot of stuff, and at the end of the day,
Mhm.
it becomes a lot. But what the thing is,
You're
we
right,
can do
Kiki.
is encourage and teach our children that they're valuable, that they're worthy, that they're beautiful, that they're smart, they have a lot to accomplish. I mean, and then telling them too is like, live your life, be young. Don't try to grow up overnight. You don't need to be 15 and then 25 the next day. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But some of us,
I was though. I
when
was
we 15, we want to be grown.
14.
And so, and that's what happens is he plays on that. I felt like R. Kelly played
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, he did.
That want to be grown.
Yeah.
I could take care
You're a
of you.
woman with me.
Yeah, I can make sure you got everything you need. And then and what I saw in this documentary is that he treated each person like they were the princess at first,
Oh yes.
and then they got pushed to the side and they were
For the new
corner
girl,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then then that's when it becomes like kind of like, okay, well, I've already done all of this. How do I walk away? I'm gum. I'm so stupid. Who's going to believe me now? I thought I was going to get a record deal. Let me hang on a little bit more. Maybe now he'll work on my record. And then none of these, I never saw a record from none of these people.
None.
I never saw none of these people singing background on stage. I mean, you never saw none
None.
of this. And so everybody, even the ones that were sleeping with him, thought they was going to be Aaliyah.
They did. They did. They did.
They thought
Yeah.
but she was one in a million.
Yeah, Drew, I believe that. Drew, I believe that he was.
You caught
I
that?
believe
You caught
that
that?
he was. Yeah, yeah, I caught that too. Yes, thank you.
All right, Joyce.
I'm sure Drew said that. I'm sure R. Kelly was abused as a child, a young
They
kid.
said he was.
They said he was.
Yeah, yep, he was.
He said it was abused.
By an older sister, they say.
Jesus God.
Yeah, but also too, sometimes like they say that a lot. Sometimes the abuser can become the abusee.
That's
Yeah.
and it's
But
true. It's
also
not just
too,
a
sometimes
saying.
That's
sometimes
true.
the
That is
abuser
true.
can be an advocate. So it depends on the makeup of the person. Like, like some people who have been fatherless become, they were raised without a father.
Mhm.
They grow up thinking, well, my father wasn't there for me. I don't got to be there for their kids.
Yeah.
Or they grow up thinking, I don't want my kids to feel the way that I did. So just the fact that you were a victim doesn't mean you have to be a victimizer.
Yes.
So, I think sometimes people just think that because this happened, this must be the case. And no, that's not always, doesn't have to be the case. You have to want to be healed. You have to want to get help. You have to want to be delivered. You have to want these things.
You know what, JB? All right.
Jesus.
This is the all the way. All right, this is the all the way put out. I know I always put myself out there. What you just said, because of the fact of when I was molested, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was abused, I really, truly, honestly felt like I was going to become the monster that did the things to me. I remember when I was 13. Was I not? No, I wasn't 13. I had to be like around maybe 11, 12ish. And I had a little cousin that was probably 5, 6. And I remember doing things with my cousin that was 5, 6 that was very inappropriate. And it was me and another girl cousin. You know what I mean? I'm not going to put her out there. But for the sake of it. And I remember this as a kid. I remember touching him inappropriately. I remember laying on top of him. I remember like him laying on me. I remember like trying, like his pants was down, my pants was down. I remember doing stuff that was done to me. And as I began to get older, and it wasn't something that happened all the time, but it happened. You know what I mean? And I began, as I got older, I thought that I was going to become this monster. And it was very hard for me mentally because who could I tell? I couldn't tell somebody the things that it is that I did. And when I got older, I remember seeing my cousin that I did this with. You know what I mean? And it was just like it's like he loved me. I see him. I don't see him all the time. And I remember I seen him since I got saved. And it was like on the inside of me, I'm kind of freaking out because my mind remembers what happened when I was that age. You know what I mean? And I thank God that it was only by the grace of God that I did not become this monster. The monster that did these things to me. And it's just like now I believe that everything that happened to me, that's why I'm so overprotective of kids. That's why I love kids a lot. And if I see something that's off, it makes me like antsy in a way. And what I mean by antsy, it makes me become this person of like trying to protect. And I know that I can't protect everybody's kid, and so I have to be very careful. And so it's just because I know some people be like, yo, you can't tell my kid what to do, all of that stuff or whatever. But I know what it's like to not want to be something. You know what I mean? I know what it's like not to want to be something, but you can see it acting out in you. And it's just like you like, okay. And when I was 11 years old, I didn't look at it as something wrong because it happened to me so frequently. You know what I mean? And it happened to me from the age of 5 to 15. You know what I mean? And because of that, it was a part of who I was at the time. So, and even when I became, like when I was 16, I had people that was close to me. I'll say it that way. I got a book coming out and you'll see it all in the book. So I'm not gonna mention the aspect of who it was, but at certain ages, like I had people doing stuff to me that should have never been done. You know what I mean? So it was like, it's so many things that and like I said, it's only by the grace of God, JB, that I did not become it. But it was like something that is wrong, and you don't, you're not trying to become
There's
it.
two things
But
you
it
said.
begins to act out of.
But there's two things you said. One, you were a child,
Mm-hmm.
and this was still happening to you at the time.
Right.
So on some level, it was the normal for you.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? But when you know it was wrong, when you got to the point where you were grown, you did not. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to become.
Right.
I'm not saying that there may not be some things that need to be dealt with.
Right.
I'm not saying that there may not be things that you need to be delivered from and get prayed through. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that same thing could have been there for R. Kelly. You get what I'm saying? And even a period of time where he did give his life to God, at least it appeared.
Right.
That could have been that time.
Yeah. Right.
But to continuously go back and do the exact same thing you went to court for. You get what I'm saying? There's a point where it's a beyond knowing that it wasn't right.
Right.
To knowing that this is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're 50 now.
Jesus.
And you're still with
You're still doing.
15, 16-year-olds.
Wow.
That is, it's a difference.
Right.
It's a difference, and I'm not excusing or I'm just saying there's a definite difference.
Okay. Amen.
And but that's why I immediately I pray for the kids, because these kids that are being dealt with in these ways, it's not just R. Kelly house. It could be your cousin's house. It could be your neighbor's house. It could be your friend's house. It's not just R. Kelly. R. Kelly is fostering the conversation. R. Kelly is bringing it to light. What I hoped more than anything is that there will be some people who may have had something happen to them, or maybe in the midst of something happening to them, that this will give them the courage to speak to somebody, to allow them to know that, hey, nothing's wrong with you. You did not make this happen. You did not cause an adult to molest you. You did not cause an adult to take advantage of you. You did not cause this. Because some people believe they caused it. How many people have been told, like I know somebody in high school that told their parents that their boyfriend was trying to come on to them. And they were put out.
They were put out.
So a lot of people don't have a safe haven. And a lot of this happens. You know, it'd have been better in her mind almost. It'd have been better to sleep with the dude. At least she had a place to stay.
Jesus.
But I'm just saying, in some people's minds, that's what happens. How many, there's been a couple of conversations that you've seen recently where you had a young child being killed trying to save their sister from being molested.
Yeah.
I've read this story so many times lately about a brother trying to protect their sister. And that's happened more than once. You've had women not believe in their children.
I don't even know if they don't believe him. I think that they're just so jacked up in the mind, and they don't want to lose that so-called man and whatever he may be providing, whether it's attention, money, rent, covering over their head, and then they deny it. And it's like something definitely is wrong with you. That's your child. That's your own child. And so you want to say, oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. That's just you being fast. Really? And if you were being fast, what's wrong with this dude as a grown man for wanting it? You know what I mean? So it's a lot of mental issues.
There's one recently where it was these two men. They molested a 9-month-old. One of them was arrested for holding and filming it, and the other was arrested for the act. And this was his girlfriend's child.
It's some crazy.
This is bigger than R. Kelly.
Yeah.
But R. Kelly, but what I'm saying is, if R. Kelly can get away with this at his level,
how many others
are getting away with it?
And they have been getting away with it. And I think that this is that big. I know he's a secular artist, but I do believe that God is using this to do exactly what it's doing. Empowering some people to come out, empowering some people to get away, empowering some people to speak up, empowering some people to go and say this has to stop. And I pray that it stops. And also empowering people who, the guy said, his assistant, who's an older guy, he back then didn't see the wrong in all of it. He sees it more, I guess, like you said, now and along the way. Like, wait a minute. And he even knew the Aaliyah piece was wrong because he said, man, you're not messing with her. No, man, no. Then the next conversation is, well, yeah, we messed up. I think she's pregnant. So, but you could have left then. This is what I'm saying. And so this money issue, the secret issue, our culture, the black culture is one of the cultures, is what goes on in this house stays in this house. You don't put my business out there. And then when the business is put out there, you're demonized.
Yeah.
You know, you can win against the family. The Asian culture has a lot to do with that too. You really can't talk outside of the family because it's dishonoring. Yeah. And so we have to let go of that. What goes on in this house stays in this house, because people are dying in these houses. And even if they are not physically dead, they're growing up to be spiritually dead. They're growing up to have these memories for the rest of their lives. They're making decisions based on, they're making these decisions of a lifestyle, of an alternative lifestyle. You could understand how a woman can hate a man. If you were molested at 3, you would never want to be with a man. Of course you would be with a lesbian, and it almost makes sense, you know. But again, it's deceptive. It's crazy. Men think they're gay because they were molested by a gay person, and it felt good because your body does what your body's supposed to do. Now you think, oh, I like this, so I must be gay. No, you're not. Right. And it's yeah, she was. She did mess with Jay-Z a little bit too, but this, you know what?
Yeah, this is.
No, she was with Dame Dash.
No. She messed with R. Kelly a little bit too. Yeah. Cool. Not Aaliyah. Not before R. Kelly, but after.
Yeah. Jay-Z?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I thought maybe that's the sin of they beef.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. JB is funny.
I thought they was beefing about, what's her name?
Yo.
His wife.
Yo.
All right.
This, you know what? Yeah, this is a time to slide.
Believe your children.
Yes, come on. That's what Kelly said.
Believe your children. Protect your children, and don't have children.
Come on.
If you don't want to raise them and protect them and cover them, because there are too many people having children that should not.
Shouldn't. Amen. Yo. You already know what time it is, y'all. We're going to slide. If you don't know, here on Pam's World, you already know what time it is. It's about time. It's about that time. For J to the beat. To the beat.
I don't know if I got beatboxing me tonight. I'm tired.
Beat. On spoon, boy.
All right, everybody. All right,
my best friend.
All right, everybody.
You already know what time
based on the time, on keep it very, very, very short. All right. The Cowboys lost. That is it. Slide back. So
really, JB? Really?
That's it? Yo. Remember all that talk last week? And I kept trying to tell Pamela next week will be the end.
What was the Giants? They was watching us, though,
but that was fine.
Okay.
I was fine with that. I just told y'all wasn't going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you did.
And you was like, yes, we are. We going all. But no.
She says,
who going